Okay, Saturday special
Dave
hour.
Michaels,
Yes, sir.
You are apologizing to me for taking time? You're the pro who filled up the time that I was late and you covered for me, and nobody would have known if I hadn't just spilled the beans right now.
Well, I'm gonna do this, and then
good.
Then I'll get up. I'll get up to the Dave Cave. All right, MC.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, you guys, we're going to have a depressing show the first hour and an exciting show the second hour, okay? But let's start it right now.
Good morning, a brighter day is here. Good morning, may we bring you cheer.
We've got time, we've got tunes, we've got time, tunes, and temperature.
Get up and go, it's today, you know, on KSCO Radio.
So that's called a tease in the radio business, ladies and gentlemen. Yep. Does anybody want to listen to a depressing hour, first hour of the Saturday special? Probably not. So I'm going to revise that, okay? It could potentially be depressing, a subject matter, right? But doesn't necessarily have to. Stay tuned and you'll find out.
Good morning, now stay right here on KSCO Radio.
Okay, what about Crossfire? Yeah, that's okay. I guess. I thought that would be a special treat for you folks out there, hearing the entire Crossfire music with no talking over it. Did you enjoy it? Would you like me to do it again? 479-1080. All right. So enough kidding around here. We're having some trouble getting hold of the guest today, but we're going to keep trying, and I think we will get the guest. And if we don't get this particular guest, then we will advance the guest that we're going to have next hour, who has been a guest before here on the Saturday Special on your favorite radio station. And that is, I'll just give you a clue about who that is. In fact, I'll do more than a clue. I'll just tell you who it is. It's Zach Voorhees, who is the Google whistleblower. Remember, he's been on 2 or 3 times, done a show or two himself here at KSCO. And when he's a guy who couldn't live with himself when he found out that his employer, Google, was becoming very, very political and not very neutral. And so he quit a job that was paying a lot of money as a very highly paid software engineer, and you know, went on the tour, you know, with radio stations and talk shows and so forth. Anyhow, Zach will be with us during the second hour, and possibly even even during the first hour. Okay, but now it looks like we have Dr. Lawrence Grant, okay? So let's bring Dr. Grant onto the phone here. Hi, Dr. Grant. How are you?
Hey, Michael. How are you?
Good. You sound like you're very, very busy with a lot of people behind you. Am I right?
There's in my room. My roommate's complaining about the the nursing staff here.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, we haven't clued in the audience yet because we weren't positive we were going to be able to connect with you, even though you warned me that might be a problem.
No, I said I would call you if you didn't call me.
Oh, okay. Is that what happened? Doesn't matter. We've got you on right now, okay? And hopefully we'll be able to have a really interesting and different kind of discussion here.
Who's on for your second hour?
The Google whistleblower, Zach Voorhees, he's on.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
'Cause
all.
I was hoping to be on the whole 2 hours with you.
Ain't gonna happen. Sorry. I told you
We'll have me on next week.
at least.
Anyway, this. Go ahead, Michael. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, we'll discuss that. I promised you at least 1 hour, and that's what it is today. Okay.
Thank you, Michael.
So okay, thanks. So you are a fairly regular caller, or on and off. I guess over the last as long as I've had the station, Larry in Fremont, and I didn't know you were a doctor. Because up on the screen it says Dr. Lawrence Grant.
Yeah, in fact, that's what my roommate calls me is Dr. Larry.
Oh, okay. All right, good. So when you say your roommate, tell me where you're in a nursing home, I think. And
Yes.
a few weeks ago, you called into the Saturday special, and I said, "Wow, I haven't heard from you in a long time." And you said that you live in a nursing home, at least temporarily. And wouldn't it be interesting if we could have a discussion of that? And I said, "Yeah, you're right. We've never had a discussion about nursing homes, places where quite a few of us are headed in the future, probably."
Looks like that, yeah.
Okay, so tell us your story, Larry, okay?
Well, I want to mainly, of course, talk about the place here, but I was chronically ill for, say, about 12 years. By chronically ill means I really didn't have a life. Could barely leave the house. I had lymphedema. If folks know what that is, it's a circulatory disease. You get, in my case anyway, you get unhealed wounds on your feet, legs.
Oh, wow.
It was disgusting.
Yeah.
I smelled like a garbage can.
Oh,
And
my
I
God.
couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it. And showering would not help it at all.
How did you develop that condition or disease or whatever it was?
Well, slowly. I just started to. The first sign was my feet felt like they were asleep a lot of the time.
So neuropathy type thing. And
Neuropathy?
you're not diabetic, right?
No.
Okay. Well, when you hear about wounds that won't heal on feet, and numbness, most people think of the term diabetes, but that is not the case with you.
No, this was it. Well, diabetes is similar in that there's a circulatory deficit at some time.
Okay,
Well,
so
that's it. I just got weaker and weaker. I'm hearing a little feedback, by the way. Is that your headphones or?
no, I don't hear any feedback. You sound okay to me.
Some of the folks here are listening, so that could be them.
Oh, on the extension,
No, on the
on the radio.
on their own radios.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, I just gradually got weaker and weaker. I got what they call hanged head syndrome, where you can't lift your head off your face.
What?
You can't lift your head off your chest.
Oh.
It's just you're unless you lift it up with your hand.
Yeah. Oh,
You're,
wow. So you got really, really weak. And before that, you told me you had worked pretty much in radio, right? As
I was a radio professional for about 30 years.
Wow. And I didn't even realize that, all the time you called. I should have, because you were very comfortable on the air. So, all right. So this mysterious disease overtook you, and what did you do?
You can Wikipedia it. I mean, it's not that mysterious.
Okay. Well, you were able to. Were you able to get it treated, or is it just something that has to run its course?
I went to the doctor. No, there are treatments. I went to the doctor a lot, but there was nothing they could do, and eventually I just gave up on the doctor, and I just suffered. But it got to a point when I could no longer stand up. I couldn't even lift my hand to my face. I was so weak, and that's when I called 911. And within a few weeks, I was pretty much back to normal, except limited mobility. And so they transferred me here, and here I am. Looks like I'll be going home in a while. It's still going to be a while, but looks like I will be going home eventually.
Okay.
So I'm not a lifer, like unfortunately many of the people here. No, well, not unfortunately, because many of them are older people that, they're part of life. And I'm not saying those people are mistreated here.
Are you saying anybody is mistreated that you know
not
of?
Mistreated, but there's problems here.
Okay.
And I'm just speaking of this one. I've only been in this one place.
Okay. We've never, to my knowledge, unless I'm wrong or I didn't realize, we have many, many, many talk show hosts, especially over the last 30 years. I don't think we've ever talked about nursing homes on KSCO. And so before we went on the air, I was explaining to our audience that we're going to have a depressing subject for the first hour, and maybe a depressing subject for the second hour, because that's going to be about freedom of speech and so forth.
That's a very important issue also.
Yeah, exactly. But so I don't. You can direct. Being a radio guy, I'm going to allow you to direct this show somewhat. Okay. Well, what? It was your suggestion that we devote a Saturday special or part of a Saturday special to a discussion of nursing homes, okay? And that's a very sore subject with a lot of people, particularly a lot of older people who tend to listen to talk radio, right? And so you've related, part of your story. You don't know how it's going to end. How would you? What is it you would like to tell the audience now? Because we're not going to rush through the call like we would if you were a caller.
I think my own experience will improve since you've phrased it that way. And my own experience here has not been all negative. I've met a lot of wonderful people, both residents and their families, and staff. Some of my best friends here are the staff. They're wonderful, especially the activities department. I'll give them a big shout out. Leilani and Polly and Alan and Chantel, some of the best people I've ever met in my life, to tell you the truth.
Well, I got to tell you, people who put their lives on the line, particularly during a pandemic, that this is new for me, and I'm sure it's new for you, and it's probably new for everybody who's listening. Those people are heroes as far as I'm concerned.
I completely agree with that. They risk their lives every day with the COVID, and many of us got the COVID. I did, and I can tell you about that.
Wow.
But now, they take a lot of, everyone wears a mask, and they take a lot of precautions. But many of the staff and residents got sick, almost all of them, at some point.
And
So,
that's just because it's a nursing home. I mean, right? I mean,
yeah, it's a closed environment, and once it's in, everyone's going to get it, and that's what happened. But the treatment here, I got vaccinated as soon as it was available, so they're taking every precaution.
how long ago was that, Larry?
The vaccination?
Yes.
Honestly, I can't remember. It must have been. It was right the first month it came out.
Oh, okay. All right. And yet you got COVID after being vaccinated?
No. I got COVID before I got the vaccination.
So here's a question for you. Why the vaccination? Because
That's what I asked them. Why do I need it? I already have natural antibodies.
And the answer?
Well, I kind of had to answer it myself. I wanted the extra protection.
Oh.
And yes, I had the same misgivings many of your audience do about vaccines. I'm very careful about vaccines. I don't take them if I don't think I need them. It took me a long time before I started taking the flu vaccine. I had to get really sick and have pneumonia. So, okay, to answer your question, subjectively, I've met some of the most wonderful people I've ever met in my life here, both the residents and the staff and the family of the residents, who I've made some really good friends among the family. So I've seen a part of, I've had a sort of a rough life, but I've seen the part of reality that I've managed to avoid most of my life. People that are very old, people that are soon to die. I've known many people here that have died. It would be a long list, and it's given me a reality check. It's given me a more enlightened view of the cycle of life, and I'm really grateful for that. That's what many people come here to die. They're on their last legs, or in most cases not on their legs at all, but in a coma, semi-coma state, and they're just going to be here for the rest of their lives. I remember a conversation. It was funny to me, but maybe not to the people involved, where I was in one of the public rooms, and a woman was talking to her daughter, and she was saying, well, when I get out of here, am I going to live with your sister? Am I going to live with you? And she said, Mom, when you get out of here, you're going to live with Jesus. You're here for the rest of your life. And thought that was funny, but also sad in a way, but funny. So that's that aspect of it. But you want to talk about conditions, right?
Sure.
See, what I urge people to do is before you put your loved one in a place like this, I'll just refer to as grandma. Before you put grandma in a place like this, hang around for a while. Get to see what it's like. Stay with grandma for a day, and get to see what her life is like. I suppose people do the tour first, and then put the loved one in. But yeah, get to know the place.
Usually, you go to a nursing home after having been discharged from a hospital. Is that
Yes.
your case too?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay.
There's two main categories of people that are being rehabilitated, and people that come here to die, to spend their last years, or however amount of time they have. Nowadays, many people go to hospices for their last years, but there's maybe a third category of people that that just bounce here because no other place will take them. I've seen that a few times. People that were too rowdy for the hospice, so they end up here. That are too, that refuse not to smoke and go out and smoke anyway, and that kind of thing. So they end up here too. So just a few points about the place I'm in. Most of the residents here are in wheelchairs, right?
Okay.
So you would think this would be 100% wheelchair accessible. Well, I don't know how you would rank it, but it's not that. You can't get a wheelchair in the bathroom, and you can't go outside easily in a wheelchair because there's like bumps on the screen doors. The sliding glass doors.
Sure. Yeah.
You know how that is.
Yes.
Because if you have a sliding glass door, there has to be that
Track.
You would think there'd be a track, and you'd think there'd be slides to help you over that and to the next and to go outside. And there's not on any of the doors. On the front door isn't too bad, but usually it takes a little effort because there's a carpet there. But all the other doors are very difficult to deal with. Mm-hmm. Now, and of course I understand the logic to that, because some people, the first thing they do when they get here is try to get away. So if you make it difficult for them to go outside, that helps on that.
Yeah. Well,
So,
makes sense.
Okay, one thing about this place, as you heard, it's loud, and this especially distressing part is the screaming. And I'm in the room with the screamer. Doesn't do it all the time, thank God, but he screams a lot.
In pain, or for what reason?
And this fellow, I don't think it's pain. I think maybe he's lonely. But some of them, pain, attention, which brings up sort of a paradox. The screaming makes other patients uncomfortable, and just makes it hard to be here, hard to sleep. The screaming is so loud and invasive and unpleasant. Sometimes it's hard to even think. And I'm on E-Hall, which is the worst, which is where they put most of the screamers.
Why did you end up there?
I don't know. I'm not in charge of administration here.
Okay.
I don't know why. But I got to say, other parts of the hospital also have, I call it a hospital, other parts of the nursing home also have screamers.
Okay.
So, but it is reflecting the fact that it's also often legitimately difficult to attract attention. And I've been in this case a few times also, where you feel like you have nothing to do but yell, because you push on the call light, no one comes, and you have some kind of real problem, and no one comes. And that's with people that are yelling. What I don't understand is why they don't at least check them out, find out what's wrong. Often you can go hours and hours without anyone just asking you what's wrong. So that's a real concern.
Well, That's happened to me in the hospital. I haven't been to a nurse. I haven't been a resident, even a temporary resident at a rehab facility, otherwise known as nursing home. But yeah, it's very, very frustrating when you're in pain or you have some reason to require someone's help, and there is no help forthcoming. It's awful. Okay,
there's
so
no
that's
reason-
why people hate to go to hospitals, and that's why people probably hate to go to nursing homes, right?
There's no reason they can't just stick their head in and say what's wrong. They're sometimes they're understaffed, but they're not that understaffed that they can't just check on you. Now, the people that are known to be screamers, they're probably just going to scream no matter what you do. But for the regular people here, why can't they just check on you?
Okay, I agree.
That's a problem. I'm not saying they never come. Eventually, someone will address your issue. But you could be hung up for a long time. One time I was literally hanging in the air. They were fixing my bed, and they had kind of I'm not blaming the maintenance guy. He probably thought a nurse would come and help me, but he just kind of left my bed like kind of hanging in the air, and I couldn't reach the bed control. I couldn't reach the call button, and I was just hanging there.
Right.
And that took quite a while to fix it. So, okay, some of the other points. Again, I urge people, spend time in the place before you commit grandma.
Okay, I'm sure that's very good advice. A lot of times that's not possible because grandma is under pressure from the hospital. They say your Medicare has run out. You got to go to this place or that place or that place. Take your choice. Right?
That's right.
That's what happened with our family and my mom, Kay. That's exactly what happened. And we chose a place for convenience that happened to be right around the corner from the radio station, so it would be easy for us to visit.
Oh, here it goes. Here it goes.
What?
Listen to this. It should be coming up in a minute. This is the worst screamer. Her name is, I'll call her Christina.
Okay. Well, Larry.
Yeah.
Larry, listen. This is the most awkward interview I've ever done in 30 years.
Well, what's wrong?
What you're telling us is, I mean, it's obvious. I mean, people are. It's an unpleasant experience in a nursing home. Let's talk about. Maybe we can talk about how conditions might be able to be improved, or maybe they're not. You probably have some thoughts about that you were probably going to get to, right?
Fixing this, the whole medical system in this country is broken. And I've had many people tell me that, including doctors, nurses. So that's outside my wheelhouse. I do not know how to fix the medical system. What could be fixed here, I'll just go down the main points I wanted to make. Okay? I already mentioned the wheelchair accessibility. That's something that could be fixed. Put ramps on the outside of the doors.
Mm-hmm.
Still be a little bump when you go over the track, but it'd be much easier for people to get themselves in and out without help.
Sure.
Make the bathrooms wheelchair accessible.
So there's something called the ADA, the Americans for Disability or with Disabilities Act, and it applies to all businesses that I know of. And so wouldn't you think that the ADA would cover and require these kinds of obvious things that you're bringing up today?
You would think so, yes.
Okay, but are they exempted? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not an expert on nursing homes or the medical system. I only am a participant in it. So some of the other, okay, probably the worst problem here is the lack of direct medical care. Yes, there's a nurse, but she can't really examine you, diagnose you. They do regular, blood pressure tests, that kind of thing. They take your temperature like at least once a day because of the COVID, right?
Yes.
But there's not like a doctor that's resident here. So if I have a problem, let's say I had gout, because I've had gout before. Let's say I have a gout attack, and I need to talk to the doctor. There are good gout medicines that help relieve attacks. There's no one to talk to. Now I do always have the hospital is always. You could call 911 at any point. That's not so you do have some access.
Okay.
Medical care.
Have you ever had to do that while in that facility?
Yes. I had pneumonia. I didn't call 911, the nurses did.
Oh.
And they saved my life. I'm not talking against the staff here. They've saved my life more than once. Twice with the pneumonia, and once when I was choking on one of these giant pills they give you. It was ibuprofen, I guess. And it was stuck in my throat where I couldn't swallow and I couldn't spit it out. And one of the staff did a Heimlich.
Oh, wow.
The staff here, I haven't been using the right terminology. The staff that does the backbone of the work are called CNAs, Certified Nursing Assistants. There's very few actual nurses here, but they do most of the daily work. They do all the grunt work. So, like I'm saying, there's no doctor on staff. The best they can do, let's say if I get a gout attack now, they could flag my doctor, and I would see him maybe next Thursday. That's when he makes his rounds. So I'd have to live with gout all week.
Wow.
So okay, some of the other points. The food. Okay, you can't expect restaurant quality food, let alone home style food in a place like this. But for months here, I barely ate the food at all. It's recently gotten better, somewhat better, but it's still a lot of times it's still pretty disgusting. And that one I can see. Maybe a lot of the people here are so far gone they aren't really able to taste things. So I understand they're not really doing harm to those people. But when you're sick, food is an important part of your recovery, right?
Sure.
They say comfort food, and it's a psychological thing. Without the psychological thing, people don't really get better. And often, I don't want to overgeneralize, but and the important part of the psychological aspect of our minds is the food we eat. Again, comfort food makes all the difference. And they just often, the food doesn't measure up to that standard. But again, from their point of view, I understand it's probably an important cost saving issue, because in many ways This place is a total train wreck as far as preserving resources. This place has a bigger carbon blueprint than a oil refinery.
What? How can that be?
Because of the waste. The waste they go through constantly. Every meal. If sometimes it's
Oh,
on
the
a real
food is
plate.
so bad that it's inedible and people just would rather not eat and they leave most of their food?
That's part of it. Also, the stuff that's garbage. We don't always get paper plates and plastic spoons, but all those things, even if you didn't use them, if they're on your tray, they're going to be in the garbage. They literally tons of diapers, sheets, blankets. Of course, those go to the laundry. But yeah, the laundry's going here constantly, and there's just tons of garbage coming out of this place all the time. Not recyclable things, but like I said, plastic and paper plates.
Okay.
That kind. It's just an environmental disaster. It's every day, and they don't. There's they could use recyclable things for a lot of this stuff, but they don't. That's a minor thing.
Oh. Jeez.
But
I'd hate to hear the major things.
Well, no, I'm just saying that's a point where it would be difficult to save money while they're wasting all that stuff. So the one wiggle point might be the food. So they simply receive food from the determined by the corporate branch, and they warm it up. That's basically all they do here. They chop vegetables for the salads and stuff. Almost, it's all the cooking, such as it is on a very low level. So if I get a salad tonight, it'll be with a packaged salad dressing. Even though I, as a cook, a home cook, I should say, realize that salad dressing is very easy to make, even on a institution level. I did a year in Santa Rita jail, and the food there was much better than the food here.
Are you a criminal?
Yes.
What kind of a criminal?
Mostly drugs.
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago, Mike.
Oh.
I'm a Christian.
Okay.
I don't commit crimes. I don't hurt people.
I see.
I love people. I love you, Michael, if I hadn't said that before.
Thank you. Well,
So at least one person
I
loves
know. Thank God for that. Yeah.
Your listeners, by the way, Michael, if you don't know this, your listeners love you. You're a beloved person in the community. And that's something I want to talk to you about, is how to win back the hearts of the people of Santa Cruz.
Because we've lost them, have we?
You have, a lot of them, yeah.
Really?
I think so. Well, you don't have advertisers. What does that say?
No advertisers at all.
You have some.
We don't have a single advertiser on KSCO.
Is that
Not
really
one. Not one.
How's that possible?
Not a single advertiser.
Okay, well it shouldn't be that.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
We don't have commercials on this show. That was a decision that was made many years ago. We have plenty of advertisers, Larry.
Well, that's good.
Okay, so what are you? Oh God, this is the most bizarre interview. Here you're complimenting me. I'm conducting the most bizarre uncomfortable, ridiculous interview that hasn't done anything except depress everybody. This is the first time we haven't received a single call that wants to go on the air in 30 years. Now I should have had my head examined to have accepted the idea of talking about something that is so bleeping depressing. And what's the point? Would you listen to a program with you and me talking like this? It's the most ridiculous thing that's ever been broadcast on KSCO, and I'm friggin' ashamed of it.
Okay,
I want to shoot myself for doing this show.
Okay, you're getting a little overboard here, Michael.
My God. Would you listen to this? I'll ask you again. Would you listen to this? You're a radio guy.
No, I would have turned off as soon.
Exactly.
As soon as I heard it was about nursing homes, I always turn off.
I kid around by saying I like to blame other people. I never accept personal responsibility for anything. Exactly the reverse is true. So I'm not going to blame you. I'm going to blame me for accepting for agreeing to do this ridiculous BS program that has no positive effect on anybody. If I tuned into a program like this, I'd turn off the radio station I heard it on and never listen to it again. Really. It's a stupid show.
Hey, relax.
It's ridiculous.
Okay.
Now, why don't you tell me something that's worthwhile, you radio guy?
Okay,
Tell me something that's worthwhile. That'll make me feel like that'll undo the most negative feelings I've ever had, ever in 30 years of owning this station. This is the worst show I've ever done, and I don't blame you. I blame me.
No, it's not your fault.
Okay, why don't we take some phone calls? Okay, here. Well, none of the phone calls are. There's phone calls, but there's nobody. Who is this? Hello? Who is this?
Well, I sure hate like hell to call in.
Oh, it's Wendell. I recognize that voice from Reno. Wendell, have you ever heard a worse radio show on any station or network on the planet than this?
Well, you know, there's an old saying, when you lose...
Answer the question. Answer the question, please, and then give me your philosophy afterwards.
Absolutely horrific.
Why are you still listening? What's wrong with you? I know you. You're a smart guy. Why are you continuing to listen to this BS program?
I'll answer if you let me. Give me just a second, I'll tell you.
All right.
I like to learn things. And what I was going to say is, it's an old saying, but if you lose at something, don't lose the lesson. And the lesson is, you'll never have another program like this ever again, will you?
You think?
And,
Oh, Jesus.
Now, I've listened to this guy Bellyache, for, I don't know, since the beginning of your show. But the reason I hung in there is I'd like to know, with all the complaints and problems and everything he mentioned, which is definitely a downer, and I know downers because I'm the one who came up with the term.
The Downerville, yeah, you get credit for that.
So anyway, what I was going to say is, I'd like to know who's financing this guy's, where he's staying, because I think he's expecting the Holiday Inn, and he's lucky being a criminal, having a police record and blah, blah, blah. I think he's lucky not to be on the street. And, you can bitch about the food and bitch about somebody screaming and all this other stuff, but I haven't heard any real viable solutions. I've just heard complaints. And you can bellyache, which is what a lot of people in his situation do. But who the hell's paying for his stay at the Holiday Inn? Who's financing this? How did he get in there? What did he do? How did he qualify financially? And who's paying for this situation that he's involved in.
Honestly, I'm not in charge of that. They just put me here. And I've been trying to get out since I've been here.
Well, who put you there? Who's paying for it? Are
The insurance.
taxpayers?
I don't have any control. I can't go to a different place, they won't let me back on the streets. I have to have the right documentation to leave here. So we're working on that now. That's it. I didn't ask to be here, and I'm grateful. By the way, if I didn't make this clear, and I thought I did, I'm grateful for the help I've gotten here, and I'm grateful for the if it's Medicaid, whatever it is. I'm grateful for the taxpayers to pay for it. I'm not and saying criminals, as you put it, can't get health care is in itself a criminal act. I mean,
I'm sorry, I don't see it that way. Yeah, I don't share that opinion, and I'll tell you, you're damn lucky for what you have and where you're at.
I know.
Okay, we have a board full of callers, and I don't know. So we're going to take the next one. Thank you, Wendell. One good decision I made, and Larry, I think you'll understand why I limited this to 1 hour. If I would, and then you're complaining at the beginning that you're damn right it is. It's the only smart thing I did on this whole show. Anyhow, who's the next caller? There's nothing on the screen here. Who's on the air?
Anonymous.
Okay, you're on with Larry and MZ.
Anonymous.
Okay, hi, but you got to hurry up because there's only 5 minutes left of the whole show, or the whole hour.
All right. Are you going to let me talk, Michael, without interrupting me for a minute?
No.
Oh.
Goodbye. Okay, who's next?
Hi, this is...
I run this show. You callers don't. Who do you think you are? Okay, go ahead. Who's that?
Yeah, I think this show is important. It opens a lot of people's eyes what to expect, that they don't have enough staff in those places, and how did he get there? How are you going to be taken care of when you're old? Do you know how much it costs? You know, like $7,000-8,000 a month, and
oh yeah,
and there's no place to put them. The reason he can't get out is because you can't discharge someone into a danger. They have to discharge them to a safe place. They have to find a home. They have to find a care center. They have to find a group home or something. And they're hard. They're full. Yeah. And they're understaffed.
Okay, so
you're
not. It is the way it is, and I don't have any solutions. Do you?
Well, like they say, our healthcare system is broken.
Okay, that's not the solution. That's why I want to avoid this topic.
Well,
anyhow, thank you. Here's our next caller. Who is it?
Donna. Hi, MC. Really thank you for putting this on today, because I know I'm 84, and my father and my husband both died in nursing homes. I actually took them to hearings, and I lost. People got to know what goes on in nursing homes. I wish I could fight it. I wish I was young enough to do something. But people have to know it. So I thank you for putting it up there, and maybe somebody somewhere will do something about how bad they are over here. I don't know about the Bay Area, and I thank you for doing it, MC. Thanks.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, who's this caller? I don't know who it is.
Margaret.
Hi, Margaret. Okay, you're on.
Hi, Charlie. I think you
No,
need...
my name is Mike. My name is MZ. That's
Michael.
okay.
I know him for 100 years almost. I think that you need to calm down a little bit. I was listening to the young man, not that I agreed with everything he said, but the people do need to know what's going on.
So maybe I was wrong when I thought that the dials are tuning out left and right and there's nobody left.
Yeah, that's why I called. You said no one was calling. I had to wait and listen to 4 callers. I think I had good insurance, and I had a loved one that was in a very respected nursing home not far from your radio station. And I'm telling you,
I stayed overnight with him, which was against the rules, but I stayed, and they sort of liked me. But I'm telling you, the stuff that goes on in there, people are begging, nurse, come help me. I've got to go to the bathroom. I got to go to the bathroom. They try to get out and fall on the floor. I was there for a solid 30 days, and I know what goes on, and it's not good. And I'm not blaming the people that work there, but I think the people in charge, and Dominican Hospital sends you over to this particular place. They have a guy that's on their committee over there, and they give you all this talk, and you go. Fortunately, I had good insurance, but we worked a lot of years for that insurance and paid into it.
What place did Dominican Hospital send you to?
I think it's called Driftwood over there by you off of 17th Avenue.
Oh, yeah, okay. It's
yeah.
over, 24th Avenue is what it would be.
Well, it's
Driftwood, yeah, that's where my mom went.
Yeah. And they have wonderful people working there.
They do.
But apparently they're understaffed. And I've heard people beg and cry. And I heard one woman that screamed, you have compassion for those people. But those people are not getting the care that they need. I can't complain about the food there because I thought it was fairly good, And but it is terrible what goes on there. They do not get the care that they need. They do not deserve the pay that they're getting from insurances. It needs to be looked into. I'm an individual I'm that's old, and I can't do anything about it. But I was upset the whole time I was there. In fact, they made me go home one time, and when they decided to let me come back and stay overnight,
Wow.
But with the person that I was with. But I guess they're understaffed. They don't have enough help. I guess the big wig in charge.
We're coming to the end of hour number 1, and we have a full board. And now what do I do? Holy Christmas!
Don't be too hard on the young man.
No.
Up next on your favorite radio station, it is time for hour 2 of the Saturday special. Here is MZ.
Oh, hello, darling. I hate to.
Forget that. There's too much. Takes up too much time. Let's go back to the phone lines and finish up this topic. Who is this? You're on the air.
Yes, I'm waiting, Anonymous.
Okay. Oh, are you the one I hung up on?
I don't know. I just.
Okay, go ahead. Just you talk. Say what you called about.
Okay. First of all, God bless you for taking the chance of this Lawrence guy. He is super right about what he says. My own experience was horrible. I was tricked. They were trying to trick me into shipping me off to Los Angeles because the person that was in charge of where you were supposed to go, they purposely said that they were that I would have to be completely able to go to this. If you have no income or low income, you will be tricked. They will try to trick you into a temporary home situation. But then they said you had to be able to get along without a wheelchair. Well, I was still. I had a broken leg. When I first said to them, no drugs and no surgery, they looked at me like I was from outer space. And they have a clipboard that says, on a scale of 1 to 10, they come in every few seconds to say, okay, what's your pain? Now, I didn't realize in the beginning.
Okay, I'm sorry. I hate to do this to you, Anonymous, but we're spilling over into another topic now, and you're going on and on and on. And I know this is important to you, but you obviously dug out of it, and
No. I was radiated burns. I have radiation burns. The doctors do not get. Their doctors are separately. You pay for things separately. The doctors have their own thing, and they threatened to throw us out if we didn't comply with what they wanted to do. We still have a radiation burns that they could care less about. The treatment was horrible, and I really think you should come.
I'm sorry, I have to go. This is awful what I've dug myself into here with this topic. There are going to be certain topics that are going to be off limits on KSCO from now on, and talking about nursing homes and mistreatment of people is one of those topics, because all it's going to do is make people want to shoot themselves in the head. That's all it's going to do. Okay, who's on the who's on the phone now? Who is it?
Reba?
Okay, try not to depress me or the audience, you know.
Okay. Am I on?
You're on.
I have my 31-year-old son died in a nursing home in a hospital. When they transferred him from the nursing home to the hospital, he died in the hospital. But
I'm so sorry.
Thank you for your condolences. It's been a nightmare. But I almost sued 2 nursing homes. One of the owners of the old nursing home sold the business to another nursing home company. But I wanted to make a statement and ask, what is the name of your guest, the one that's in a nursing home right now?
He's off the line, but his name is Lawrence Grant.
Lawrence. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, he's gone. Well, I wanted to ask him if he had seen any gunshot victims. Now, that's another topic, but a lot of your young men that are coming in with gunshot wounds, they're turning these gunshot wounds to the back of police officers and to the back of the people in America.
Oh my God.
They're turning them into paraplegics, MZ, and quadriplegics. One young man I saw had 6 gunshot wounds in his back when I was visiting my son that was in the nursing home. And this young man was under 30 years old. He was paralyzed from the neck down. So that's another thing that's happening. Our young men and women are ending up in nursing homes from gunshot wounds. It's very, very sad here in America. And all your guests that talked about the evilness in the nursing homes, they are absolutely correct.
Oh, I believe that. I believe that. But what do we do about it? I mean, just bitching about it, I guess, is cathartic. I guess.
I want to end my speech with this. If people out there suspect abuse in nursing homes upon their loved ones or their sons and daughters, there's lawyers out here in America that do nursing home lawsuits, and they can be and will and are being sued. So I encourage your audience to look for lawyers that might want to sue the nursing home for abuse and other
elder abuse.
actions.
I think is a branch of law that you're referring to.
Yes, absolutely. And I talked to one female lawyer on the telephone about 2 years ago, and she said the nursing home abuse and neglect is what was the word she used? Is notorious, absolutely notorious.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks for
Thank
calling
you.
the
You're
Saturday
welcome.
special. Okay, who's this? For some reason, the names aren't being put on the board. Who
This is your good friend Terry.
Oh, hi, Terry. Of course, I should recognize the phone number. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you're on. What's up?
I have some good news.
Good. We could use some. It's been a very depressing first hour.
I'm changing the subject entirely. I came to a flash realization yesterday that the Delta variant is actually a very good thing, and it's going to be wonderful for the planet. Yes, and it goes like this. One of the reasons why we know that the Wuhan flu, the Wu flu, as we like to call it, was lab generated, is that it's not the natural course of a virus to get more deadly, because the virus is a parasite. It needs a host. If it kills the host, it dies.
Yeah.
And so generally in nature, you don't find viruses that are highly deadly because they eliminate themselves from the gene pool.
Yeah.
And we also know that evolution is driven by mutations, and the Delta variant is a mutation. Now, while the Wu flu was invented in a lab, the Delta variant did happen in nature through natural variation, through natural evolution, through mutations.
Okay.
And it mutated in the direction that viruses typically mutate, which means it's a better strategy evolutionarily for a virus to become less deadly and more contagious. That's the best way for it to survive. And that's exactly what the Delta virus indicates, is that it's a natural evolution. And here's the thing about it, is that recent statistics indicate that the Delta variant is actually less deadly than the flu, which means you're not likely to die from it. It's the reason why everybody who cites Delta variant statistics cites caseload, as though that means anything. Who gives a rat's ass about what the caseload is? I care about death.
Who does give a rat's ass about that?
it was interesting. I don't know if you know who Bryson DeChambeau is. He's a big-time golfer.
No. But okay.
Well, anyhow, he's kind of a new thing in golf. He's a physicist. He's a very cerebral guy, and he was supposed to be in the Olympics, and he got tested positive with the Delta variant 2 days before he was supposed to be in the Olympics, and he had to, opt out to put a substitute in for him. And then he described what it was like. He says after he got tested, 2 days later, he started coming down with symptoms. And his symptoms were as follows. I felt a bit tired for 2 days. And now he's playing golf again this weekend.
Okay, so this is great. What
deal.
a nice call to receive from you. Now, I don't know if you tuned in at the beginning where I announced that we're doing two topics, one for the first hour and one for the second hour. We're into the second hour now. I'm sure you would be very interested in the topic of how to cure censorship with the Google whistleblower, who's our next guest coming up. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be fascinated to listen to that. I'm working in my shop, so I'll listen to it while I'm working.
Good,
but let me just finish my thought. What's going to happen is because Delta variant is very contagious, that means more and more people are going to get it. Hardly anybody's going to die from it. They're going to die at about the rate that you would from the flu. Typically, if you're elderly, obese, have diabetes, things like that. But the average healthy person like Bryson DeChambeau, and he was criticized because he didn't get vaccinated.
Yeah.
And he says, why should I get vaccinated? He says, I'm young and healthy.
Yeah.
And for him, for a young and healthy individual, he felt a bit tired for 2 days.
Right.
And that was that.
What about you?
So what's going to happen?
What about you, Warmboard Terry? Are you vaccinated?
Yeah, I got the jab because what the hell, And I'm old, as you know.
Yeah,
but quite frankly,
very old.
My wife, who you also know, has chosen not to. Why? Because she's extremely healthy, and she says why. Here's another little factoid, is that the death rate goes up with Delta variant if you've been vaccinated. The death rate is 8 times higher if you've been vaccinated than if you have not been.
It's the opposite of what they sold it to us on. Then is what you're telling me. Because I was told, by the news, and if you get vaccinated, you might still get it, but you're gonna not end up on a ventilator, and you're not gonna end up dead, and it's gonna be a lot easier for you.
Michael, you've violated the rule, the primary rule of KSCO. Dumb people can't call in, and here you are calling in, and you've been dumb if you believe the news. Now, I don't think that you're dumb, but
I am. It really is time for me to retire. Terry, listen, we got to get to the topic here. It's sort of rude for our guests.
I'll let you go.
Thank you much.
We will hit herd immunity quicker this way.
Good. I thank you very much for that positive phone call. Zach Voorhees, a golly, you told us how to properly pronounce your name. So are you in Florida now?
No, I'm not in Florida yet. I'm still in the cloudy, overcast, slightly coldy San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh, you're back. Okay, the last time we talked, you were I think you were doing something with Project Veritas or something. Isn't that right?
Well, I was on tour with them for this last month in July, going all over the country, going on stage. That was an amazing experience.
Okay, so fill us in about that amazing experience and what you want to share with us. It's been a while, so yeah, there's a lot of spaces to fill in here.
So I guess this is a theatrical summer for James O'Keefe because he's starring in a Broadway play, and he decided that he was going to do kind of the conservative festival tour.
And James O'Keefe, for those who don't know, is the director of Project Veritas, how would you describe that organization?
In hard-hitting investigative journalism, and a little bit like TMZ before the right, and also a pipeline for whistleblowers, showing the way the world really is.
Well, this is good.
Yeah.
This is very good.
He was going on a tour, getting donors. Actually, we were fishing for more whistleblowers. That was the big thing that we were out there for. So I went out there, had a terrific, really great experience, and then came home, and then immediately after launched my book, Google Leaks, which is available now on Amazon. And in the last chapter of the book, I explain how to defeat censorship.
But you're going to give us a clue today on the KSCO Saturday special, yes?
That's right. I am. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to tell you how to defeat censorship. And this isn't just a thesis. This is also something that I've implemented in the new web app that's going to be coming out in about a month after this book sort of the book tour ends. I'm going to be launching this. And what it is going to be is it's going to be the Drudge Report, but for video.
Uh-huh. Wow. I love it.
So if you will allow me, I would love to read the thesis. It's about a page and a half out of my book, Google Leaks.
We hate that do that, but can you read real fast so that people don't fall asleep or turn the dial or something? Because that's what it's.
I know it's all right. I'll read one sentence, and this will sum it all up. You ready for it?
Sure.
Aggregation cancels censorship. Aggregation cancels censorship. So what exactly
providing more platforms or directions to more platforms? Is that what you're talking about with aggregation?
Exactly. It's kind of like a platform for platforms, right? It's a link aggregator. What I'm doing is I'm grabbing everyone's links to their newest videos and putting it together on the same page. And the great thing about this is that I can pull data from the top 6 services. I'm talking YouTube, I'm talking BitChute, I'm talking Rumble, I'm talking Brighteon, I'm talking Spreaker, I'm talking even Odyssey, that really hot new decentralized blockchain streaming service.
You didn't say Parler. Is Parler gone?
Parler doesn't have a video service, and what I'm doing is I'm pulling from video services only.
I see.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so what I'm doing is I'm just taking everyone's voice, because there's actually not that many, conservative commentators. It's less than 1,000. And so what I do is I've created an inclusion list with these 300 or so content creators, and I've created a daily feed of everyone's videos that has anything to say about politics. And, oh, my gosh, this is something that I'm using every day now. My friends are using every day because it serves as an intelligence dashboard. What is everyone saying about whatever today, every day, every hour of every day, because it updates every hour of every day. And so this service, it's already running in beta. We're going to take it out of beta. We're going to publicly launch it. And we believe that this is going to be the solution to censorship.
Well, it's all new to me, but it seems plausible. My first thoughts about it. Wow. I mean, the people who own the world are the people who provide the platforms. The trouble is, some of those people have used their platforms now that they've gotten so gargantuan to feather their own nests and promote their own political perspectives. Something that we do in a very, very, very small way with KSCO Radio, as you know, but we allow people to promote, and we encourage people to promote all points of view on this station. It just so happens that the conservatives, at least historically, have taken much more advantage of being able to do so with KSCO. Because they feel disenfranchised or whatever. But I've always wanted this to be a voice for everyone. I think we're moving in that direction. I really do.
Right? And it's like, why do conservatives, why are they the ones that call into your show more often, right? Because the left-wing view is institutionalized by the media that serves as the fifth column to this country. And so people need to have a forum where they can express ideas that aren't influenced by the power of money. It's just what they believe and what they think. And that tends to trend conservative. So maybe, reality doesn't have a left-wing bias. Maybe reality has a conservative bias.
Well, this is very interesting. So to refresh our audience, I'm sure a lot of people listening are listen for a long time and have listened for years and even decades. But I like to remind people that I became acquainted with you by reading about you, having quit your pretty lucrative, remunerative job as a software engineer at Google. And I think you were working at YouTube in particular. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And the reason when you were working there, you were not a particularly political person one way or the other. But it started to gall you when after Donald Trump was elected, and you weren't a Trump fan necessarily, you just, but after Trump was elected, it became clear that the powers that be at Google wanted to reverse that and make sure that didn't happen again in 2020. And I think they succeeded. But you couldn't live with working in that environment, not because you were a conservative, but because you didn't think it was right for a platform. And you're the first person, I mean, I hear Donald Trump and I hear other people talk, you're the first person that brought to light, at least in my world, that these high-tech platforms are protected through this Section 203 or whatever they call it, where you can't sue them. You can't sue them because they're a platform. But they're not acting like a platform. They're acting more like a publisher. I got those terms from you, and now it's a really big thing, and more mainstream people are familiar with that, and that's all you ever said. You never said that Google should be censored or anybody. They just shouldn't be given the extra unfair treatment that allowed them to get to be so damn big. Right. When they don't deserve that kind of treatment or that kind of protection, right?
Right.
Okay. So now you've had enough time to think about this. Are you willing to cop to a term to describe yourself, conservative, or not?
I mean,
I hate labels myself, but I got to answer. I can't wait to hear your answer to that question.
Yeah, sure. I'm a conservative. I like to conserve the culture that I grew up in. I'm a liberal. I think that liberalism is now a conservative value. Like, get the government off our backs. Don't have them regulate everything, and just let us live our lives, because people are fundamentally good, honest people, and it's this sick system that pits us all against each other. And if we just get the government off our back, I think society will just be fine, as it's been fine for thousands of years. Remember, it's not the commoners that have always been the problem. It's the monarchs, the tyrants, and the despots that have gone to war against each other. So I believe that most people are good-natured people, and we just need to get the government off our back. And that is now a conservative value in this era of progressivism, of Marxist, communist-light ideology that's trying to sink in. And now more important than ever, we have to flex our muscle as conservatives and say, no, there's something really worth preserving right now. We do not want to give in to tyranny and big tech censorship. And that really resonates with everyone, because we want to be a free people. And what's happened in the last couple of years, it's been the fastest roll up of power that we've ever seen. And now Apple just announced recently that they're going to be scanning through all your pictures to search for child porn. This was yesterday. And so, yeah, I am proud to be a conservative, because the conservative is against what these big tech companies are doing. And what they're doing is they're trying to build a prison planet with their UN smart cities, and bring us in there and lock us down and monitor us, surveil us, and create a welfare state. And the thing is that we don't want to be prisoners, even if those prison bars have rave lights and, whatever. We need to fight for the future of freedom for humanity. And it starts right there at the First Amendment and the freedom of speech. And so, hey, if we can't defeat this cartel in the courts, we might as well defeat them with technology.
Wow. Is there anything we can do as a little old radio station in Santa Cruz to help? what you want to do, because we're tiny. We're not high tech enough. We're low tech, but I wish we could get high tech. I wish we could add high tech components, which we have. I mean, we were one of the first radio stations in the world streaming their programming. But
what you
big
do
deal.
Every single day is what you need to do, which is to give people a voice and give them a platform. Because the spirit of free speech is going to be the thing that provides the guiding light to carry us forward. We have to be able to speak freely, and that's usually why it's so important. And if you want to get my message out, it's Google Leaks. I lay it all out. I explain how big tech censors, why, these little voices out here like you is really important to keep, it alive, because in order for these tyrants to rule, they have to silence free speech everywhere. And so any free speech anywhere is the light that, allows the First Amendment to continue burning brightly.
Wow. You've gotten really good, Zach. I mean, not that you weren't before, but I mean, that's really cool. You've gotten very, very articulate, much more so than you were before.
Thank
and you were
you.
very articulate then. All right, I want to talk to Zach. Please call 479-1080. That's in area 831. You can email mz@ksco.com. We got a couple of callers on the line. There's something wrong with our system. It doesn't give the name or the topic. It just gives the phone number and the fact that you're on hold. So I'm going to say take next and just say, who are you, and welcome to the program. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, who is this?
This is Dan.
Dan?
This is Dan in Watsonville.
Okay, hey, Dan.
Yeah, I had
in
an idea
Watsonville.
that might help you save your station. You said you want to win back the heart of the people of Santa Cruz. Well, people in Santa Cruz love reggae music. And so if you played reggae music as your bumper music, people would start listening to your station and really like it, because they don't get to hear much of it on the radio.
Oh.
It's a thought.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling 479-1080. Who's this? You're next.
My
Who's
name's
this?
Billy Sunshine. Billy Sunshine.
Hi, Billy Sunshine. Do you welcome to the program with Zach, the Google whistleblower.
Hi, Zach and MZ. Hope you're having a lovely day. I am. Wait, here's the thing. I believe that what Facebook did is similar to what KSCO did. And that is that if you believe you have some toxic person putting out misleading information that is hurting the country, or in our case, our community, it was our job to deplatform the person who was mean and misinformed and wanted us to fight and hurt each other. How is that? We got rid of the Nazi. They got rid of, a guy who was making trouble and who wasn't being helpful. How's that? Isn't that what we're looking at, MZ?
Are you talking about Trump?
I'm talking about Trump and comparing that with Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here, talk to Zach. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Sure. Zach, did you get that?
Yeah.
Okay.
My response to that is, with these complex systems, the best solution is the market, and to let the free enterprise and free competition be able to work its magic and let ideas stand on their own merits. And the solution to that speech is more speech.
Sure. On the other hand, there was a point where, in Mississippi or in Alabama, if you let the people vote, they would say, no, we can't let black and white people marry. No, the market's not always right. The market can make a mistake. If I own a restaurant, I don't care what the market wants. I'm going to make sure I'm putting good food into the bellies of my people. And that's what I think Facebook was trying to do. I know that's what we were trying to do when we got rid of the Nazi on KSCO. Zach?
Right. Well, about your marriage point, I think everyone agrees with it now. So it's kind of an interesting example, I mean, sure, at one point people didn't like it, but then at some point most of the people did like it. So at some point they're not going to vote for it, but later they would have. Today would be
right. So the market isn't always right.
Okay.
Yeah. First of all.
Right, but people evolve, right? Just let the ideas kind of work themselves out.
But for example, Trump has not evolved. He's still claiming that we stole the election from him. He's still trying to tear the country apart. What are we supposed to do? Get rid of Biden? He'll die.
I mean, see, this is the reason why we shouldn't have the censorship that you're talking about, because you're asserting that the election wasn't somehow rigged or wasn't inappropriate, or if there wasn't a lot of evidence that's pouring out. Like, I've been following the evidence.
There's no evidence.
Zach, do you think
we don't want to censor?
Do you think the election was rigged, Zach?
I know that it was, it was rigged in like 5 different counties, and they were cities, and they were under Democrat control, and they did it quite brazenly, and they did it through multiple points of fraud. And
your evidence is what, Zach?
I mean, there's so much
What's your
evidence to a few movies. Check out Mike Lindell's movie.
Michael Lindell. Yeah, let's check it out.
Well, Mike Lindell is a wonderful person, Billy. Why are you?
I'm sure he's a wonderful person, but you know what? We have courts in this land, and every court that anybody went to, they had no evidence. And the last lawyers who tried to...
no, that's not true. That's not true. That's misinformation by the mainstream media. This is why they want to censor everything. So what really happened was that the courts struck down most of these cases through lack of standing. They said that
they wouldn't even hear it. They wouldn't even
hear it. But when they did hear it,
they never did hear it.
Giuliani never had any evidence. All he had was wishful thinking. And now the courts are saying to these people who are bringing bad suits, you're going to pay the court costs of everybody involved. And I like seeing that.
I mean, look, there's a lot of evidence of election fraud. Let me just give you an example. In Arizona,
no, there's none.
They used those Sharpies, and what it caused was it triggered an adjudication on the machine ballots, and they had to then go through and switch votes. And so it's like,
no. You can't believe everything you read on a right-wing website, my friend.
No, dude, this is being reported by people that live in Arizona. Now, this is not like a conspiracy theory. This is verified fact that's coming out from these people. I listen to them every single day. Liz Harris, she does a Periscope, 7 a.m. She's like on top of it. She's a very credible individual. She's dropping this intel daily. And so if you want to have any evidence, it's right there on Liz Harris's thing every 7 a.m. Listen to her stream and hear about it.
My question is this. If you believe someone was injecting poison into your community, would you be for free speech, or would you be for stopping free speech in that one instance?
I would be for free speech everywhere, because they want to be able to...
All right, we should have kept the Nazi, Mike. We should have kept the Nazi. Yeah, exactly. We know better, Michael. You and I know better.
You got to compel people. You don't have to compel people to be on an inclusion list, okay? Like, whoever Michael wants to have on his inclusion list at his station, he's got the right to do that, right? He doesn't have to platform everyone that he has. Like, I don't see why it has to be this either-or agreement. Just let people do what they want to do, and the right thing will happen.
No. At some point, at the extreme end, you don't allow it. At the extreme end, you do not allow it. You don't allow a Nazi to get on and go, we don't like blacks and Jews too much. We need to keep this country white. No, you don't allow poison into your system. You don't allow it.
Well, right now you're talking about banning the speech about the election misconduct. And there's the problem right there in the whole argument. And the flaw is the fact that I believe that election fraud did happen, and I'll point to evidence that it did. And you're advocating now banning for like dangerous misinformation, and you're including election-related information on that. And there you go, right there. Like, it's being abused right now because that's on the outside of the Overton window. You can't talk about it in the mainstream media, like, because the election was so pristine and clean. No, it wasn't.
And you know what? More importantly, the election is over. The only thing I want to do is fix the next election so that it is for sure on it. And to do that, by the way, we need to nationalize an election and not let states run by repugnant ones.
That's what he calls Republicans, Zach.
That's wholly unconstitutional, though. Like, the Constitution says that has delegated the election to the states. It's part of the duty.
The Constitution makes mistakes. The Constitution
basically
didn't allow black people to
our entire system.
The Constitution made a few mistakes that need fixing. They don't allow black people to be full humans, and they let everybody have a gun who's nuts. So clearly the Constitution can be mistaken, and we need to fix it.
I mean, all right. Well, if you're a revolutionary, then that's a different position. I love
I'm an evolutionary. I'm an evolutionary. Yeah. That's right. I love again. Let's make it real. I love Santa Cruz. I wasn't going to let somebody inject poison, hatred into my community. So I did everything I could to stop it, and that's what every American should do: is clean up the act of those who are injecting poison into our systems. We did it in Santa Cruz. Michael and I got rid of that lady eventually, and that was the right thing to do. Not say more speech.
Got rid of a lady? Who was the poison?
Oh, Jesus.
She was a Nazi.
I don't want to talk about that.
Okay. We won't talk about
this story.
No
yeah,
problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So thank you, Billy, for calling 479-1080. Marcella
Feel
in
better,
Salinas.
Mike. Feel better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you get Billy to shut up? I can't stand listening to his lies. For one thing, okay, he said Nazism, we got rid of Nazism. We did not. What happened after World War II? We had the Nuremberg trials where they mainly tried doctors who had experimented with all these, especially children. And what came out of the Nuremberg trial, the Nuremberg Code, which was all about informed consent, which we do not have nowadays. Also, Schiff was the one who pressured Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook to ban vaccine misinformation. So most of the only websites you can go to are the CDC, the FDA, all these corrupt government entities that there's a revolving door between Big Pharma and Congress, and that's a big fraud. Another thing, I attended RFK's lecture about almost 2 months ago in San Jose, and he talked all about Fauci, and I ordered 4 of his books, and they have not arrived. And Amazon and all these other big tech companies are banning this book where RFK has the goods on Fauci. Billy's a damn hypocrite. I can't stand listening to him. If the election was stolen, they tried to impeach Trump for 4 years over a stupid phone call, over whatever. That's why we call him the fake news.
Okay, Marcella.
Is Billy off the line?
Yes,
I can't stand him, but
do you want us to ban Billy from calling KSCO or being a fill-in host on KSCO?
I'd love it. I can't stand listening to him. He's a hypocrite. That's my opinion.
But wait a second. Do you think you don't have to listen to him when he comes on as a caller or as a fill-in host or whatever? You have the right to tune out. But do you want us to censor him because you can't stand to listen to him?
No, but I wish someone would fact check him because he's nothing but a liar. He always brings up race. They always use the race card. He's a perfect example. He's just a phony liberal.
Okay. Zach, do you have something to add to what Marcella has said?
Sorry, there was an Amazon package. Yeah, I agree. I don't like... Actually, no. I actually really liked the exchange. I thought that was really good.
I thought so, too. I thought it was excellent radio.
Yeah, and we need more of that because the left just doesn't want to debate. And so when you find a leftist that wants to come in and spar, that's really rare.
I know. Yeah, it's true. So anyhow, Marcel, I wish you would reconsider your thought about that. I know no one's trying to tell you to start liking what Billy says because it flies in the face of so much of what you believe. But I think you should really think over the idea that we should ban him.
Can you ask him one question? I bet you he's for forced vaccinations, and I'm.
Are you talking about? Are you talking about Billy, who's not on the line now?
No, just in general. I want to explain to people just one time
what an anti-vaxxer is. And most people, even everyone on Fox, they all say, oh, no, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. They shouldn't have to apologize. A true anti-vaxxer is someone who had blind faith in their pediatrician or their doctor and got the toxic vaccines and is either dead or brain damage for life. Okay? And then we're the enemy. They want to come after us. They want to lynch us. I've seen articles in the New York Times, LA Times. We're the enemy. We're the victims. Our children will never get one penny. And if you're injured, you can sue. And all I hear constantly, ad nauseum, on both Spanish and English TV and radio, is they're safe and effective. They are neither safe nor effective. Why do they have all this liability insurance?
No, they don't have any insurance. They're exempted, like the big tech companies are exempted from being sued, and I don't think that's right.
You're right. You know, if people just had some critical thinking skills, they would realize that the whole thing is a fraud, and they spend millions on all this advertising, these beautiful commercials, and if you care about your family, if you care about your neighbors, it's the vaccinated who shed and transmit all of this disease.
Do you think that's what I'm doing? Because I am vaccinated with a Moderna two shot. Because I made that decision, and it was a tough decision because, you know, on the one hand there was this, and on the other hand there was that. But do you think I'm shedding? I mean, maybe I am.
Not as the person around you, you know, is healthy, has a healthy immune system, eats properly, has proper exercise. I mean, I don't know if everyone sheds, but I'm afraid to be around vaccinated people for too long. It's everything they say is the complete opposite. And it's just when's this going to end? This propaganda. When are they going to show the victims? They keep talking about breakthrough cases. That means the damn vaccines don't even work. I mean, but they color up all these. I mean, they have a way. They'll always have some lying answer to any charge you have against them, the Nazi vaccine pushers. Yeah, we do have Nazism, and we have fascism. No one says that word. Yeah. Fascism is a collusion between government and big corporations like Big Pharma. They'll use all kinds of other words, but fascism, this is a fascist country. The companies and the government are colluding. Yeah. And like I said, they have a revolving circle between all these industries. Anyway, well, thank you for letting me vent a little.
Hey, thank you for calling in, Marcella.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, who's next here? Steve Lightfoot.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Steve. You're on with Zach and me.
Well, if I may immodestly say, I'm a legend in talk radio.
Yes, you are. Yeah, Zach.
all...
This is the man who calls talk shows all over the country, and is very, very intelligent, and then drops a bomb that Steve who is it? Jesus, John Lennon
Stephen
was
King.
Killed was by who?
Stephen King.
Stephen King.
Novel.
Right. Okay.
The writer.
Now we're one of the few. Are there others, Steve, that listen to you? Because I think you have a lot of pretty intelligent stuff to say.
Morton Downey Jr., because he was a celebrity and not part of the media, he gave me 3 days in a row in L.A., 15 minutes a shot to nail Nixon in his home area, and 3 weeks later Nixon died of a stroke, just to show you how powerful free speech is. He and you are the two tops in my book, okay? The rest of the media is jealous of my balls, jealous of my importance, and they want to shoot me down like a plague, because I stand to expose them for what they are, a bunch of bootlickers serving Satan. But what I want to say to the public is this. The difference between me and all those people who poo-poo me is I have balls. I'm not afraid. If you people had courage, you'd hoist me on your shoulders like the most important thing you had to do. But because you're afraid to step on the government's toes, I must be a nut. So Put that in your pipe and smoke it, people, please.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank you for calling. Our next caller is blank. Who is this?
Shelley.
Okay, you're on with Zach.
Monterey.
Okay, Shelley, you're on with Zach and MZ.
It's good to hear Zach again. I'm glad he's okay.
Yes, so are we.
It was really, yeah.
Who's rustling paper and disturbing our radio show?
Well, I'm working while I talk to you, MZ.
Okay, stop, please,
Stop.
please, just for the time you're talking. While you're on hold, it's okay, because it doesn't disturb us. Okay.
Okay.
Go.
So I think, though I agree with the lady who says that BS should be banned. I don't think he should be banned because we need to know what those crazy folk are thinking and what they're saying. And if we don't hear out of their mouths, then we don't know what the craziness is going on in their heads. And we need to hear that.
Okay, good, because we're not going to ban him unless he does something terrible again.
Oh, he's done terrible things and said terrible things, but we need to know. Like, he kind of represents the majority of them, the way they think and the hypocrisy, and
Did
so
you enjoy
we need
that
to
debate with
stay
them?
on.
What'd you say, Zach?
Enjoy.
Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy that debate we had?
I was actually not on at the time you had the debate. I'm sorry, I missed
what
it,
a shame.
But I know that
You'll have to listen to the
I know
rerun
that Zach-
tonight between 10 and midnight,
I will.
or any time on demand on our KSCO app.
But I know that Zach handed him a can of whoop ass. So, I mean, I already know that. Because, I mean, look at what Zach's been through. I mean, he basically came up against the communists. So, and he was by himself. He didn't have a gang of people behind him. And look at he survived. And BS doesn't know what he's talking about for the most part. And he doesn't have any experience with it either. And it's bad because, he's Jewish. He should know better. That's what I think.
Oh, Billy is Jewish? Well, he's from a Jewish background. I don't think he's a practicing Jew.
I'm sure his elders gave him some stories that, he should be more informed.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, listen, thank you for calling the Saturday special. Always great to hear from you, and thank you for the kind words.
I love you, MZ. And please do another show on the nursing homes. It's depressing, but it needs to be talked about.
Okay, well, all right. Yeah. Yeah, someone said I went off the rails. In fact, a lot of people said that. And it's very rare that I go off the rails on the radio.
Well, that guy did say that, your listeners don't like you. He said something very kind of derogatory, and I could see why you got upset.
Oh.
Anyway.
Oh, okay. I got upset.
Do you remember him saying that?
Yeah, I do a little bit, but he was saying nice things about me too, about how he respects me.
But then all of a sudden you said something about, your listeners don't like you or something, and
I don't know what that was. It was sort of, but no, what was bugging me the whole time is that I could feel the radio dials tuning off or tuning to another station. And I can't stand that feeling. So that kind of stuff does make me go off the rails. Anyhow, thanks for calling 479-1080. Here's the next caller. Who are you?
Rudy in Aptos.
Oh, hi, Rudy. Yeah, I normally would know, but our name part of our computer isn't working today.
I was listening, yeah. Hey, I got to agree with that previous caller, Marcelo, or whoever it was.
Yeah, Marcella,
Yeah. Billy Sunshine he's just a bigot, a liberal bigot, and he likes to talk about, Nazism and stuff, and typical of a progressive liberal, he won't let you get a word in edgewise. He'll try and talk right through you. His points are always the same, which is this country is run by fat, rich, white guys. And just so happens he's a fat, rich, white guy. So, I mean, it's the kettle calling, the pot calling the kettle black. I get tired of his rant. Now, he's not just doing
it. So you think Billy is a hypocrite?
Oh, absolutely. But remember, Michael, he doesn't just do it on your show. He's doing it on Dave's all the time. And, maybe I think he should be banned because he just is a hypocrite. And we get tired of it. I mean, it's not a debate when he comes on. It's a lecture.
Well, it's I don't know what it is. Anyhow,
call what
all right.
you will,
So
but...
thank you for calling. I appreciate your input. Okay, now we're going to get input from someone who has a phone number that ends in 1081. Who is it?
Yes, this is regarding two very, very important things.
Okay.
The first one, Zach, God bless you for coming forward. And if everyone would like to know more about the truth with the vaxxes, the COVID, our freedoms, please go tomorrow, Sunday, at Windows by the Bay from 11 o'clock till 4, including on the recall, information on the recall. And second of all, you need to have Dr. Day on your show. She has been on over 600 radio and TV shows. She was a San Francisco chief orthopedic surgeon.
Oh, Dr. Lorraine Day?
Yes.
I thought she died. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
Everyone, and if you look.
Yeah, anyhow, this is awful. Your cell phone is breaking up, but so that it's not too good. But send us an email or something. Oh, golly, we only have 4 minutes left. Anyhow, thank you for calling. Here, who's the next caller?
Rory.
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 I think you deserve you deserve an award for being the longest intelligent caller we've had. You've been calling since the beginning.
Flattery will get you nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've listened since you took the station over. I guess it was the earthquake. No, before. Because whenever you had Limbaugh, and then for sure the earthquake. But anyway, Zach, good. Keep fighting the battle. You're a sharp guy. I'm like you. I'm for the marketplace of ideas. I don't want anybody banned. Not Billy Sunshine. I'm sorry that Georgia got banned. But we need a marketplace of ideas where the average person can hash these issues out. Yeah, free speech is just that, free speech. And I will say this to Billy Sunshine. Billy, you're full of crap. The absolute theft of the election on November 3rd, 2020 has not been adjudicated. It got kicked out of court. It needs to be adjudicated. Thank God for the audits starting in Arizona and other states.
And thank God for Mike Lindell. I'm hoping to get him on the Saturday special one of these days.
Right on. And the other guy, this is the last thing I'll say, and I'll bail out. Get Dr. Robert Malone on. He's the guy that invented or discovered the mRNA vaccine technology. He is not for mass vaccination with these experimental shots. Okay? And I heard him this morning with Steve Bannon. It's important, up-to-date info. And Zach, good for you. I heard you on Bannon. You're the man. So I'll bail out and keep the free speech coming, MZ. Good job. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Rory. Okay, who's this? You're on the air, whoever you are.
This is Krishna from Santa Cruz.
Oh, hi, Krishna.
I'm doing well, and you have a wonderful station, and please don't ban anyone.
Okay.
Anyone, unless they're talking about their psoriasis, don't ban them.
Okay.
So, and I wanted to say that the thing that mostly frightened me during this last elections and everything that followed was not the stupid insurrection. I think they were a bunch of fools, but I'm glad they did what they did. I don't care. What I really cared about was the FBI. They frightened the heebie-jeebies of me. This is a civilized country, and I think no civilized country should have a secret police and an organization like the FBI. Ban them. They are scary, scary people. And they have too much power already. And that's all I had to say. Good show, and carry on.
Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you, Krishna. Here's Tony. I guess I'll be the last caller today. Tony.
Well, yes, MZ, as you're a lover of language, and you know when they say vaccine, they really mean not a vaccine, but it's an emergency thing, and they have not been able to do regular vaccine tests on it. It's not really a vaccine. So it's cancel culture. They're canceling the language, so they're canceling the culture. As long as you call it a vaccine, let's all call it what it is, a non-vaccine, which is experimental.
Yeah.
We're all guinea pigs. That's all. Thank you, MZ.
All right,
Okay.
great. So, Zach, I got a text from Kenny Rumrill, who was distressed because you're not given the amount of time that he thinks you should have been given. It's the end of the show now, so we're going to have you back. Okay.
Okay.
All right. If you're in San, I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you in a little bit. I'm heading up that way. So take care, and we'll further make arrangements for a more complete show. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Michael.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a good one. And I guess it's time to finish the show this way, right? So, how this way? You know.
That's all, folks.
Oh, you are listening to KSCO Santa Cruz, Salinas, Monterey, San Jose. I don't know if this clock is right, but it says we got 20 seconds left or something like that. So I can do a tap dance for that long. Can you help me, Dave?
We can also remind people that I'll be out in the Dave Cave until 4 today.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.